Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In our previous videos, we have discussed about different loss functions used in regression, like mean absolute error, mean squared error, root mean squared error, etc. In this video, we'll actually see the difference between mean absolute error and root mean squared error. These two are the most common metrics used to measure the accuracy for continuous variables. Continuous variables means regression tasks. MAE was very popular back then. Many publications use MAE for analysis, but it's not being used anymore. Most people use RMSE or some version of R squared, Huber laws, etc. Is RMSE actually better than MAE? When is it better to use MAE and when is it better to use RMSE? We'll look for answers for these questions in this video. Let's look at the definitions of MAE and RMSE. Of course, in our previous videos we have discussed in detail about this, but we'll just give the brief about this. So MAE is the absolute difference between the predictions and the actual ground truth. If you observe these blue dots as the ground truths and the straight line which is giving this green color line is actually the prediction, the difference between these things are actually the absolute differences. The absolute difference between these are the error values, which is the absolute error. For all the samples across our data set, it will actually calculate the mean of those. So that is actually called mean absolute error. So first it calculates the absolute difference here between each and every sample, and then it takes the average of those. So this is the mean absolute error. Next we will see mean squared error. So mean squared error is basically for the same samples, I'll actually do the square of the difference. So this is what it is happening here. It will actually take the square of the difference and then it takes the average of that because it has mean. So it is also mean squared error. So RMSE, which we are discussing, is just the square root of this mean squared. So if you take just the square root of whatever the previous mean square, that is RMSE. So for visual representation, maybe if you consider the mean squared error as the square box, RMSE can be 1/4 of that. It's just the square root of MSE. So these are the definitions. Now let's come to the comparison between mean absolute error, mean squared error and RMSE. While comparing, I am just considering MSE and RMSE as similar. So there are a couple of similarities between MAE, absolute errors as well as the squared errors. One is both of them are distance based metrics and both of them are actually negatively oriented scores. That means if a value of MAE is lower, that means it is better. The model is better. The same is the case for MSE also. Lower values are better, and all these values are ranging from 0 to infinity. Okay, and both of these things are actually average across the whole data set. It's not for a single sample, it's for the average of across the whole data set. So these are some of the similarities. Now let's see the differences. So basically MAE treats all the errors in the same way. You are just taking the absolute difference and then you are taking the average of them. Whereas MSE, you are actually squaring the error. So if you do square, then it's kind of having some kind of weightage. This topic we have discussed in detail in the previous video, in the MSE video, you can check that. So basically what happens, if 2 is there, then square will become 4. If 3 is there, then square will become 9. So it is kind of increasing as the value is more, then the square will become even more. Right? So this is kind of weightage it is giving to large errors. But MAE, it is just the absolute error. So obviously MAE will be always less than or equal to RMSE. Most of the cases it is less than or equal to RMSE. And MAE is easily interpretable because it's just the absolute difference and then mean of the absolute difference, right? So it is easily interpretable. We can understand the how much the model is performing based on the quantity of MAE. So if the quantity is larger, that means the model is bad. If the quantity is smaller, the model is good enough. Whereas RMSE, because of this weightage as well as the squaring factor, we cannot clearly interpret the actual value to the performance of the model. These are actually sensitive to noise, or you can say outliers. If my total dataset has 100 samples, out of which only 5 outliers, because of square term in RMSE, these particular values will be very high. The weightage for these values will be very high. So because of which RMSE value, the error value for RMSE will be very high compared to MAE. So that is what we are saying here, more sensitive to noise or outliers. One more thing is MSE and RMSE are smooth curves like this, whereas MAE is not smooth. So when you are calculating the differentiation, it is easy to traverse the mean squared error loss surface compared to mean absolute error. So the same point we have discussed earlier as well. So these are some of the differences. Now we will analyze this outlier or noise sensitivity for both RMSE and MAE in detail with the help of an example. Here we are checking the robustness of these loss functions with respect to the outliers. So we will create a dummy data and then we will add the outliers to the data and see how the error distributions are changing. A robust system or metric must be less affected by the outliers. We can actually see that mean squared error or root mean squared error, the squared errors are actually sensitive to outliers. That means these are less robust to outliers, whereas mean absolute error is more robust to outliers. So we will prove that point here. I'm importing some of the libraries here. NumPy for generating the random dataset and Seaborn and Matplotlib for plotting the graphs. I have actually defined the MAE, MSE and RMSE in Python. This is how you can actually calculate the mean absolute error, mean squared error and root mean squared error. So if you observe, I'm just taking the square root here for root mean squared error. Now let us create the random sample of data. I'm creating sample data with 1000 points and 1000 number of sets. So the data I am creating using NumPy random module here. In the above cell we have created the original dataset, which is the random dataset using NumPy. Now to that original dataset, I will add some outliers or noise and then predict the absolute error as well as the squared errors. This function is basically adding the noise data to the original dataset and then calculating the absolute error as well as the squared errors and then plotting the charts. If you see here, the function is accepting data as well as number of outliers and then amplitude of outliers. So data is our original dataset. Number of outliers, okay, I have 1000 samples here. Out of 1000 samples, how many outliers I need to add? Let's say I want to add 10 outliers out of 1000 samples. And then for each outlier, how much should be the amplitude of it? Amplitude means you can understand that how much it is different from the original distribution. So these are the three inputs I am taking, and then if you see this for loop, what I am doing is it is actually taking all the data points one by one and then how many outliers I have decided for those many outliers, for those many observations, it is actually multiplying the amplitude. That means the value, whatever the x original value is there, it is actually multiplying by amplitude value. That the original distributions are the original dataset, and then noisy distributions I am creating using the amplitude and then the outliers. So out of the 1000 observations here in the inner for loop, so let's say I want to create 10 outliers. So if the 10 outliers are there, for every outlier I am actually adding the noisy dataset here. Once I got both original distribution as well as the noisy distribution, I am actually calculating the absolute error, mean squared error and root mean squared error for the both original dataset as well as the noisy dataset. So all I am doing here is I am taking the original dataset and depending on the user input, I am creating outliers in the data and then calculating the metrics. And these are all plotting the charts for those things. Initially, we will see without any noise or without any outlier how these metrics look like. Okay, so I'm just calling that function evaluate metrics. So for evaluate metrics, there are three inputs. One is my original dataset and then number of outliers. This I am giving 0. As of now, I am not giving any outliers. And then amplitude of outliers. Amplitude means how much the outlier should be different from the original dataset. Amplitude outliers, I am just giving 1. Okay, that means keep the original data itself. There is no multiplication of amplitude. So what I am doing in the code, this amplitude outliers, whatever the number I am giving it here, this number I am multiplying with the original dataset. So that means I am shifting the original dataset by this much amount. So this is happening on the original dataset. There is no outliers being added here. So if you observe the charts, so this is the first one is mean absolute error and then means squared and root mean squared error. Mean of the mean absolute error is around 16. Whereas for RMSE it is 20 and for MSE it is 400 because it's the square of RMSE. So MSE you can ignore the values of MSE for now. Okay, that is in the different distribution because it is square terms. Whereas if you compare MAE and RMSE, the mean values are 16 and 20. So the mean of RMSE is still higher than MAE. If the value is small, the square value will be smaller, and if the value is larger, if the error is larger, then the square value will be much higher. So that means RMSE is kind of amplifying the high errors than the lower ones. That is the reason the mean value is becoming 20 here instead of 16 in MAE. So these are the three distributions on the original dataset. Now what I will do is I will actually add two outliers. Out of 1000 samples, I'm only adding 2 outliers. And then the amplitude, how much shift that should be from the original, that is also 2 I'm giving. Now let's see how much difference the distributions will come compared to the original. The transparent ones, the white ones are actually the original distribution, whereas the red and green, the solid colors are the shifted noisy distributions. Remember, we took 1000 samples. Out of 1000 samples, I gave only 2 outliers. So even for 2 outliers, RMSE and MSE have shifted so much, whereas MAE value is not very much shifted from the original distribution. This is only for 2 outliers. If I increase the number to 10, let's see how the graphs will distribute. MAE is still overlapping, whereas if you observe RMSE and MSE, they are completely separated. So that means the distance has increased so much. If you compare the mean values also, the original distribution mean is 16 in MAE, and the noisy distribution now it has 17 as the mean value, right? It has shifted only by 1 value. Whereas here in RMSE, the original distribution in RMSE is 20 mean value, whereas now it has shifted almost to 23. And if I actually increase the amplitude here, so as of now, even though I have added only 10 outliers, the amplitude is, the shift from the original is only 2 times. Now I will actually do the shift by 10 times. And I'm only taking like 2 samples, only 2 outliers. So if I do that, this is how the distribution looks like. So if you check here, still MAE is only 2 points difference. The original distribution mean is 16, whereas the noisy distribution mean is 18. If you consider RMSE, the original distribution mean is 20, which is that spike you can see in the left side, whereas the noisy distribution mean is almost 48, 49. So you can see how much shift it has become. So what we can conclude from this is, if we have noise in the data, it is clearly shown in the RMSE and MSE compared to MAE. So that means RMSE and MSE is more sensitive to outliers or noisy data. So it is penalizing the error more compared to MAE. So in the applications which are clear of noise, if you think like, okay, your data set doesn't have any noise, then MSE and RMSE are good measures because they don't do any harm. Even whatever the errors are there, small errors, those it will actually magnify. So it will learn better if there are no outliers. But if you have so many outliers in your data set, then MAE is better because it is robust to outliers. So the whole error distribution will be shifting because of small outliers in RMSE and MSE, which is not feasible. That's all from this video. Thank you so much for watching.